Happy Fragrant Friday, Fraghead. Hey everybody, this is Ben here at thatcologneguy coming at you with a new review, and oh, what a doozy it is. My friends, buckle up and get ready. This one is unforgettable. You might not like it, but it is absolutely original and unforgettable. You've seen the title and the description. So this is 2017's Fougère Gothique by Barrister and Mann. I did not know this, but this company is a huge company with a very loyal following on the wet shaving end. So a lot of people buy their shaving products religiously. So this, of course, is the Eau de Parfum from 2017. And again, it is an aromatic fougère. Before I dive in, though, let me just quickly say, besides welcoming you to your weekend, of course, this channel brings you new content every single Friday. I'm an independent reviewer, and I rely heavily on the fact that I'm charismatic, extremely tall, and hot. So that's kind of what I do every single Friday. And oh, by the way, review fragrances for you. Happy Friday the 13th. And let me just say really quick, I'm going to sneak this in. You might think it's corny or cringy or like it's a theme. I actually use this mug every morning, okay? So this one here is Friday the 13th, so you see everything has a master plan over here at That Cologne Guy. Head on over to the bonus features because I got way too long-winded on talking about all the things I love and et cetera about Friday the 13th. Happy Friday the 13th to all horror fans and just to everyone around the world. So this one is so much fun because this guy has a lot going on. This is a 2017 release. You know it's a Fougère Gothique. Gothique is the name, so you know it's a fougère. That means it's fern-like. This one here in the top notes, well, this is one of those fragrances, though, where I want you to go to Fragrantica to see the total note breakdown, but here's what I got. In the top, you're going to get lavender, and you're going to get ash, most definitely in the top notes. In the mid, you get smoke, and then and in the in the bottom notes, you get, yes, you're going to hear this right, mushroom, oak moss, and balsam fir. Now, a question you guys ask sometimes is how can you tease apart these notes? I would not have got mushroom out of this. I want to be clear about that. I just happened to see that it was noted. What I do get, though, is you get oak moss, a balsam fir, and then balsam fir a lot more. Okay, so that's what you're really going to get there in the base. So this one here, I'm genuinely surprised that only one person I can find actually said this. This, you know what this is? This is the same year as, oh yeah, that loyal following out there. I see you doing the dishes. As you listen to me, smile, because I know you're one of them that likes Amouage Figment Man. Oh yeah, this one, so get ready because this one is our wet soil friend. Figment Man by Amouage has an ardent following, right? So think of all the people who like movies and then think of the Rocky Horror Picture Show cult following, right? Of which I am part. Think of that, and it's with that fervor that people love Figment Man by Amouage. It is wet soil. It's earthy. It's not what most people like. But, oh, the people who like it absolutely adore it, and I think it might even be discontinued. Another one is Encre Noire, which means, by Lalique, which means black ink. Encre Noire is one that I have here, and I have had many bottles, and it is also outstanding, and it smells like black ink. Here's the thing. This came out in the same year as Figment Man by Amouage. Hint, hint. Is this a dupe? No. But I don't know the months, but I would be extremely surprised. In fact, I'll go so far as to say whichever one came out first, the other one definitely took from it. So I'm assuming Figment Man came out first, and this one was riding the coattails. Could be the opposite, though. Don't know. You guys can let me know. I couldn't find the months. But this one is very much like wet soil, and with the Gothic theme to it. You do feel like you are digging a grave. So there is a lot of earthiness. I mean, it's just oak moss explosion, balsam fir, too much, by the way, on that note. And this guy here is, as I said, one of the most complex reviews I've ever done. This one is has the best projection and longevity of any fragrance that I have reviewed. Even the Blue Beast by Amouage, I think this one is right there neck and neck. I only put one on each wrist, and this dude rocks for like 12 to 15 hours. I mean, you have to be really, really careful with this fragrance. It is eternal, okay? And the projection is off the frickin' charts. Wow. This one is not for the meek. So, imagine being in 1984 and you could go to, or 85, if Bauhaus was still around by 85, let's just say they were for argument's sake. If you went to a concert and you saw, in 1985, Susie and the Banshees, Bauhaus, and Sisters of Mercy, that is this. If there's one thing this does, you don't have to like it, but if there's one thing it does, is reflect its name. This is a fougère Gothique, and I would wear this to any goth concert whatsoever. And I can tell you now, when some of these singers pass away, like Peter Murphy and stuff, eventually everyone will wear this fragrance to their funeral. It exudes digging up graves in a graveyard. The advantage of having a small channel is I can just go off in these random tangents like that. It really does. It is it is wet soil. It is earthy, and then it's got the ash coming in. It's got a sprinkling of lavender. Whew. So really what this is in the end, all jokes aside, is this guy here is just like Figment Man if you blended it with Encre Noire. It is. It's a mesh of the two. So it is highly, highly original. All three of them are. But I think this one is probably a mixture of the two. And if it came out before, that would be amazing. Well, before Figment Man. So it's really just like black ink and wet earth. There you have it. And if it sounds distinct, oh, it is, my friend. If you like fougères, you need to get this. I mean, that's not even a close call. I don't really care for them too much. And I will just say this. On the notes, I am going to consider the balsam fir. They dropped the ball on the balsam fir in the base because it's too prominent. Even the oak moss I can live with, but the balsam fir, the kind of Christmas tree smell is too much. It's too pungent. And I wish they would have brought that down just a little bit. That said, it's brash. It's in your face. It knows exactly what its target group is, and it really doesn't care what you think. All right? So those are the notes. Now, I'm going to probably just skip longevity, projection, and sillage. On their own site, I think I took a picture. I think they put 10 to 14 hours. They themselves claim that the longevity is, 8 to 10 hours. Yeah, it's not. The longevity on this is probably 12 to 16 years is what I would say. This one will definitely get you. If you spray a lot, you could pull off 24 hours on this thing. That like if you went to work and then straight to happy hour and then straight to dinner and then straight to clubbing and got home. And it was like 24 hours from the time you applied the next morning. I mean, it could probably last that long if you put it on your clothes. It is that powerful. The sillage, the projection, be careful with this one, seriously, because if you wore this to work like I do, I had one day where I was in pretty small rooms for a while where doors are shut and closed in and with around a lot of people. And I was a little concerned, actually, and I'm not usually, but this thing really, really, really has, it is a beast. It is a projection beast. It is a longevity beast, and it is a sillage beast. I don't know that it can be beat in those three categories. With regard to gender, I'm going to go 95-5 on the split. I do think this is a men's release. I think this is more for men. When you look at the oak moss, when you look at the fir, some of the lavender, because it kind of has a little bit of a barbershop element to it, and then the ash and smoke and incense and mushrooms and oak moss come in. And this one is for the bros, and it's for a mature audience. It's definitely for the people who know those three bands I referenced. If you were around when Susie and the Banshees were, Bauhaus and Sisters of Mercy, then this is probably for you. Especially if you want to if you want to put on some white corpse paint and like a black turtleneck, and then attend some of the goth festivals, you would fit right in if you wore this one. So this one I'm going to go men on this one. I'll go 95% on who actually rock this one and wear it. And then as far as age, this was, like I said, do you remember those bands? So I'm going to go 40 and up. It's not grandpa, but it's definitely, it's a mature fragrance. And this is definitely for someone in frag-com. This is definitely for the people who love to smell really, really unique and original. And you will also, for the people who also like to singe the nasal hairs of the people next to you at the movie theater. So this one has a lot going on this. And now, so as I said in the beginning, when it comes to the review and the rating, there were times when I wanted to even go 2 out of 5. And then you start thinking 3, and then you're like, okay, I appreciate everything. Here's what I'm going to do. This deserves a 4 out of 5. Even if I don't really care for it, because I'm not gushing because I like it. It's just incredibly original, and it's so brash. You have to admit that when it calls itself fougère Gothique, and it is exactly that has to mean something. That does. If it is a Figment Man dupe or was copied from that, I have to take that into consideration too. But for the fact, I'm not going to dock it a point though, because it's around $90 on their website. You could probably get it cheaper, but I saw it $90 from their actual website. So if there's like with tax or shipping, it's probably $100 bill. It's worth that for a 50 milliliter. It's worth that. Me personally, I feel like I'm content with Uncle Noir. So I'm not going to buy it because I feel like if you have Uncle Noir, this one, or Figment Man, you don't need the other two. It's not this superfluous choice, purchase, because it's not that they smell exactly alike. It's just that they are seriously in that very, very wild, unique, wet soil, blow you away, ash kind of thing going on. They are unforgettable. So I don't know unless you absolutely love that and you want all 3. Okay, I am going to read their description though, because I really like what the house has to say. They said, this is them. So Barrister and Mann. Due to an especially rich and stout stock of Labdanum Absolute that we received some time ago, this particular batch of Fougère Gothique is particularly resinous in dark, both in character and in color. An eerily smooth, smoky fougère with a distinctly ashy character and the dark cast of some ancient atrocity. Timelessly elegant and refined, Fougère Gothique is a fragrance for someone accustomed to the fruits of all-encompassing power. Yeah, then they list the notes. And I also like the fact that they tell you actually how to wear fragrance. It says, spray it on your pulse points, not on your clothes. Let the alcohol evaporate, don't rub it. Smell awesome, tempt mortals. Because of the fact that it does exactly what it purports to do, because it is on the website, they even add things like this batch is particularly resinous. You guys know I'm not a big fan of like the whole difference between batches kind of thing. That's out the window on this one because I like the fact that they're openly talking about it themselves instead of the customers, talking on Fragrantica, and they just let you know what this batch has, that it has somehow even more character to it. I don't know which batch I have because this was yet another sample sent in by the man, not the myth, Dr. Goo over at Locked Sense. Okay, so I am going to go 5 out of 5 when it comes to the rating. It's probably a 4 or 5, but I don't do half sprays. I am going to round up because of its brash, in-your-face nature, and among other things. So we are going to go 5 out of 5. These will be faux sprays because I I was a vampire this week, just walking around the house singing Cure songs and, Susie and the Banshees and Sisters of Mercy. What is your favorite goth band? How's that? Typo Negative, if you want to go later on. Let me know what your favorite goth band is. Mine would be, by the way, The Cure. Here's the thing. They're not really a goth band. We'll talk about that later. You just let me know your favorite. 5 out of 5, 4. I want to suck your blood. Fougère Gothique. Boom. 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 Right on the harps. Boom. All right, there you have it. Another review by the boards. I feel like a boxer after 12 rounds, and they're wiping me off, and I'm completely exhausted after this incredibly fun yet challenging review. You take care. Have a wonderful week. Let me know your scent of the day and or your scents of the week. And always remember, my friends, fragrance marks celebration of today. Take care, everybody. Could it be something else? It is Friday the 13th, and of course you know that is a great day for horror movie fans. So, over here I'll put in the episode. I did do an episode on what would Jason Voorhees wear, the man with the hockey mask, of course. So happy Friday the 13th to all the horror movie fans out there. And yes, I do watch Friday the 13th, every single Friday the 13th. One of the 12 so far, and the 13th one is coming out supposedly this year. Let me know if you do watch one of them, which one you watch. I almost always watch Friday the 13th Part 2. That's the one where he has the, people call it the potato sack mask, but it's actually a bed sheet. But it's the first one, of course, he's not the killer. I won't tell you who is. You'll have to watch it. And then Part 3 is the one where he gets the hockey mask. A lot of people don't know there was one movie where he didn't have the hockey mask. It's way too much.